We find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Today we've got a fun little clash in the AFC, as it'll be the New England Patriots taking on the Denver Broncos. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And even 20 yards and a first down on the game's very first play. With these run-pass options, we often talk about a good quarterback and running back. Well, having a talented wide receiver helps also.
Yeah, even coming in third in the discussion, sometimes that means he really should be first, because all you want to do is get the ball in their hands and let them make the big plays downfield.
On the arc, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Christian Barmore getting in there to drop him.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Here's Stidham to throw. His throw is going to be incomplete.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Stidham. Setting up a screen for Harvey. And bulldozing his way through. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
13 yards.
That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
And as you're game planning as a staff, you go through all the different ways you can neutralize the other guy's pass rushers. Extra linemen, leave a tight end in, bring the running backs back in to block. Or you can do this, a little simple screen pass, and it works to perfection.
They'll run with a 2nd-round pick from April's draft. He's got it to the 43 here.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd and 6. Once more with Harvey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Stidham, 3rd down from the gun. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
That one came up just a little bit short. I'm wondering, is he still a little bit tight as this game starts? What would you say? Maybe he's got to take the governor off of it?
Or maybe the donut off the baseball bat, like the guys
I like
on
that.
circle?
I like that, yeah. Just take that little extra weight off of him and start to play freely.
He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. New England's offense set to go. Looking to put a drive together. Play action. Maye. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
A carry here for Trevion Henderson. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Here's Maye. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
To throw, it's Maye. And his throw is incomplete.
Perfect example of the kind of attitude you have to play defensive back in the NFL. You want to be the only defender around, and you want them to challenge you. And on that play, he came through.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll throw with Maye. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
So on 4th down, here's Bryce Behringer on to punt for the Patriots. And Marvin Mims deep for Denver. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. Stidham looking to escape, but he'll go down. They got him. The sack by Harold Landry, the former Boston College Eagle. Well, every time I see speed like that off the edge, Charles, I just don't know how these offensive linemen do it. I would think that they would get called for holding every play, and maybe they should have been called for holding on that one.
Yeah, maybe not just holding, but sometimes you end up setting back in the offensive backfield a little bit farther to try and help you with the edge. That's a penalty as well. Sometimes you overset, they'll come inside of you. That's what speed does. It disrupts an offense. And right now, you've got to pay attention to this edge rusher on every single down. And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Broncos first down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
They had 2 tight ends in the formation on that one. It looked to me like he had his pick of receivers downfield.
I think he was just planning on going over the middle. That's what he did.
Picked up first down, too.
They run the option here on 1st and 10. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Here's Stidham. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Stidham. And he goes down. It's a Patriot sack. A loss of 3 on the sack made by multiple defenders. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Patriots take over. So back onto the field come the Pats for their second drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. But let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains. That means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Henderson now on 1st and 10. And he stopped immediately there. Talanoa Hufanga in on the stop. He couldn't get the edge there. It wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead. With their footwork and speed, it was negligible on that play. No gain at all for the offense.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
From the gun on 3rd down is Maye. And he is caught. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
15 yards. That's good for a Patriots first down. A gain of 15. First down, Patriots.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 47. The tight end Henry here in motion. On 1st down, it's Henderson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Hit and drop behind the line by Dre Greenlaw.
Sometimes I forget how much information he has to go through before the ball's even snapped. But what a diagnosis right there. Saw the play, shot through the gap like a rocket, ends up spilling it for a loss.
To the air, Maye. That's complete. Travion Henderson. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Throwing here is Maye. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Patriots first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Travion Henderson, 33 yards. And the Pats will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Following the touchdown, Borregales back out to send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
Stuck for a loss by Christian Barmore.
On the stop. Taken down back at the 23-yard line.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football. So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. Stidham. Throw left side complete. That's Sutton. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Now Stidham. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Harvey. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
Again, it's Harvey. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
Stidham hit, and he lost it. And it's picked up by the Patriots. Taking it right down Broadway. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return and a Patriot touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Well, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. Will go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up second down. Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
Out of the gun, they go with Harvey. And he'll get it down here to the 43. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, you know they had a third down play on standby just in case, but he says no need with that carry. Runs like that will continually earn him more work in this and future contests.
On first down, back to Harvey. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
A gain of 2.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And that's to the left sideline and incomplete. So a couple of first downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
On 4th down, Jeremy Crawshaw on to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And the Patriots gearing up to go now. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that'll bring up second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big.
The pass to Henry is intercepted. Picked off by Nick Benito. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
The Broncos take over 1st and 10.
Harvey now on 1st and 10. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down.
If they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. From the 33, here's second down and 7. Now it's Stidham. Got a man open. It's Sutton. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double and pick up 6.
That's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 1.
New England on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And he's going to be touched down right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they pick it up on 3rd and 1 on the quarterback sneak, and that's not easily done because there are extra bodies in there on the defensive side, and they're moving forward at the snap.
Yeah, I was certainly expecting a handoff, weren't you?
Yeah, I totally was. I thought they'd go with a back, maybe try and get a lead blocker in front. But as you talk about in different games, those guys with confidence in their offensive line, they just want to move forward and get it.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Stidham. A quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Back to throw. That one thrown across his body, and it's incomplete.
As defensive coordinators around the league tell me all the time, that throw is not for every quarterback because you've really got to drive the ball downfield. It's going to be a tight window for him to fit that one into. In this case, unsuccessfully.
The Broncos field goal, a 43-yard attempt.
The kick by Lutz is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Now comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Great effort by Alex Singleton as he finishes that play off.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Looking to throw, Maye. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Patriots first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Now a toss left side with Henderson. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 47 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Man, let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Well, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
2nd and 9 from the 44. Again, it's Henderson. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on first.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
third down. He'll drop to throw. They set up the screen for Henderson. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Here's Bryce Behringer now.
Formation for the Patriots.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And this one hits at the one, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. K'Lavon Chaisson, the former first-rounder, in there to get the sack. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
From the gun, it's Stidham. That's taken in by Franklin. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first.
They asked him to take charge and get them to a spot where they could at least attempt to kick before the half, and he does just that. Didn't trust what he saw downfield, so he took it upon himself to get them into field goal range using his legs. That's coming through with a play they needed in a big spot.
And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
At the 26-yard line.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
Go win him.
Here's Stidham to throw. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Now he's going to step up and run. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it. And he'll be taken down, although there is a flag down. Will this stand? The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down, 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Ready for the second half. 14-3 our score as we are back underway on EA Sports. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Here comes the Patriots offensive unit. They'll have it first here to begin the third quarter. looking to put a drive together. From the shotgun, Maye with it. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
2nd and 10. Maye going to give it to Henderson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
They'll look to throw. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, it's too early to figure out what kind of adjustments this defense made at halftime, but that's a good start to the second half. They can not afford to give up more points and fall further behind, so well done to force the punting situation here.
The Patriots send out their punter as he's on to kick it away. This is fielded at the 27. A nice job getting free on the return for 13 yards. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
2nd down and 4. Now it's Stidham. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
Up the middle, it's Harvey. And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Stidham from the shotgun. He'll swing this out to Harvey. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. And that's good for a gain of 6. And it'll be 3rd down.
3rd and 6.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He'll try and do this himself. And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker, 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with this 4th down call.
They'll try him down with Harvey. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. R.J. Harvey, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Broncos take a chance, but they find pay dirt on 4th and goal. So they only needed a couple of feet there on 4th down, but they got more than that and then some as he takes this into the end zone.
And I love your description right there, right? 4th and short. They got that. No problem. Let's go ahead and get the rest of it. Finish it off in the end zone. Touchdown. Everyone goes away happy on that one.
Broncos 11.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. New England trying to get a place on offense. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. A carry by Henderson to start the drive. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
He finds Douglas complete. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it'll leave him with 3rd and a full yard to go.
And it's 3rd down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. Now Maye on the sneak. And he will have the Patriots 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And when all you want to do is keep your drive going, quarterback sneak's a great call, isn't it? Pick it up, get a new set of downs.
And on 3rd down, usually you'd think 4th down quarterback sneak. There, though, it worked on 3rd. A give for Henderson running to the right. Takes it to about the 37.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
This a 2nd and 7 from the 37. To throw, it's Maye. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming 3rd down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of momentum. The other side is starting to gain.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Here's Maye. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Denver's offense ready to go again. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. Out of the gun, a run with Harvey. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Stidham. And that is incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. New England's offense set to go. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. So the completion good for just 3. And that will bring up second down.
At the 38-yard line.
Up the middle, it's Henderson. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, helped their spot, and stacked him up.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it 1 more time, so make sure you get in shape. Coverage was awfully tight there on third down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
The Patriots send out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And the football going back over to the Denver Broncos. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. They've got his man complete. And they finally take him down, but not before he reaches the 43. A huge play there for Denver. 44 yards.
Now that one hurts defensively. They force him into 3rd and long, had the advantage, yet they give up the big play right there.
Yeah, their offense was already warming up on the sideline, ready to come out. So much for that 3 and out. And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play. Well, sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. They run straight ahead with Harvey. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. A gain of 3, 2nd down. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. From the 38 now, here's a 2nd and 7. Here's Stidham. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. Well, throws like that, especially where we sit in the 4th quarter, he's got to be careful.
Yeah, and you know one of my faults is that I often view this game through a defensive back's eyes. And in this situation, your team's losing, it's late, tighter coverage, take a chance and go and try and step in front of one of those and make a big play. So if you're the quarterback, that should be in your head. This is their time to take a gamble.
And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots' 23. A solid gain of 15 yards and the sticks move.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Can we just take that run and turn it into a kind of a clip and save? Because that tells you everything you need to know about this drive. They've been moving the ball awfully well.
2nd down and 6 now. They go play action with Stidham. That's caught. Can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 18 yards that time to push him up 1st and goal.
Oh, nice job there putting the ball right in the doorstep of the goal line. Couldn't quite get in to pay dirt, but he got awfully close. Let's see if they can cash it in over the next couple of plays.
Harvey. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding them out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
2nd and goal from the 1. He'll try again, but he will lose yardage here as they knock him back to the 3. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
That's a nice example of good team defense right there. Ball was snapped at the 1-yard line. They knocked them back and caused a loss. But you notice they were trying to find any type of a gap to run through. Wasn't one available, and they stuffed the play right there in the middle of the field.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete.
A 20-yard attempt.
The kick by Watts is good. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. Able to slither by. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. And we essentially have a brand new ball game. After that last field goal has tied us all up, we brace for what should be an exciting rest of this fourth quarter. Looking to put a drive together. Throwing here is Maye. Throw right side, going to be taken in by Henderson. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
To the air, Maye. He finds his man, complete. It's Douglas. 7 yards there and a first down.
A 7-yard gain. That's good for a Patriots first down. A gain of 7 and a Patriot first down.
They'll throw with Maye. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
I ain't going to scan downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
Now a 2nd and 10. On the counter, it's Henderson. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Brandon, you're a big lover of music. How about what you just saw there? This is what I call playing the piano for a defensive lineman. The ability to move laterally up and down the line of scrimmage. How about the way he just flowed and got to the outside part of the field and made that play?
The offense on 3rd down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This is 3rd and 8. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Broncos will take over possession here up at the 44. After the interception, here's Stidham. Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Stidham. Now he'll tuck this and run. And that'll be incomplete with a penalty flag here on the field. And I'm not sure he was still behind the line when he let that thing go. Every penalty so critical at this stage of the game, as now they've got it 3rd and long. Now Stidham. He's going to let it go again. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. 3rd and 19, no problem, as they're able to convert.
Talk about a momentum shifter right there. Tie game, 4th quarter. These are the plays that win you games. And now defensively, the question becomes, how do you respond?
A handoff. Here's Harvey. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Now it's Stidham. He'll try and do this himself. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
Like any team plan, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
37-yard attempt.
The kick by Lutz is good. And they take a 17-14 lead. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Another go-around now for the Patriot offense. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, what, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
Up the middle, here's Henderson. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 76 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Looking to throw. Maye. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Henry. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And he'll take this from 147-yard line to the other, a gain of 6.
He's had success running the football, and this is more or less an extension of that because they drop it off to him on the screen. And I'll bet he's thinking to himself, if I didn't have to slow up a bit here in traffic, I could have really made something out of that one.
A field goal from this spot likely out of the question. They've got to get closer here on 3rd down. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Set to take over, the Broncos offense trots back out. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Looking to put a drive together. Play action. It's Stidham. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only 1st down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
A short throw to Ingram. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Here is 3rd and 5. To throw is Stidham. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Christian Gonzalez. And the Pats are right back in this football game. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And it's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Straight ahead, Henderson. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. He's back to throw. Open man to tight end Henry. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So the big gain all for naught for the offense. That yellow flag is going to bring it back.
Oh, what a tough look for the offense because they see all that yardage lost and that ball's walked back and then some behind the original line of scrimmage.
Here comes 2nd down. They'll look to throw. It's complete to Diggs. As a quarterback, this is where you look for those instincts to really kick in and take over, right?
Yeah, you can't force it downfield because if you throw an interception here, the game could be over.
This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long. Back to throw. And that will be incomplete.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
Too far for a field goal. They've got to go. It's 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Maye. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Broncos will take over on downs. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. On the ground, it's Harvey to start the drive. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Stidham's going to set up to throw this. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. This a very important drive, and that incompletion leads to a very important 3rd down here if they're going to try and get the football back.
Yeah, getting it back, absolutely crucial to their chances to try and win this game. I would expect a lot of pressure here. They can't afford to let them continue to get 1st downs and either way at the clock.
And he is going to have the Broncos first, and that should be the capper.
19 yards.
Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. The win for the Broncos, seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. Well, that second half, Charles, a little bit different from the first. Not only did we have the lead change after intermission, but they were able to pitch the shutout in the second half and get an impressive victory.
And what's the old expression? That's not quite how I saw it playing out in my head. You know they didn't expect this at all. As you mentioned, went into the half with the lead. Losing the game is one thing. Getting shut out in the second half, that's a surprise.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Broncos are winners as we say so long from Denver.